Will you shade me with your wings when the heat of day consumes me? Let me drink from healing streams.
Whatever we can this morning to help out at the Marysville Trout and Salmon Farm with their recovery efforts. This entire area was pretty much consumed during the Marysville bushfires, and as you can see here, they've still got a lot of recovery work to do. People living in caravans, people living in temporary accommodation. These guys lost almost their entire business, but they are rebuilding, and we are really happy to be here helping out today. So we're going to be moving some stuff around, packing stuff away, cleaning up, doing whatever we can, and we are just really glad.
Just trying to sort out some fishing rods which have been damaged and broken, and we're trying to sort them out into usable rods, so that they can be hired out to people to come and hopefully catch some trout. And when you catch a trout on the farm, a donation's given to the farm. So that's the way they're trying to rebuild. That's one way they're trying to rebuild.
Drink from healing streams. Will you lift my heavy burdens? Will you pave my path with peace when the road is
Completely black over there. There's no foliage on those trees at all. It's just totally dead. And the fire swept through, and these trees in the forefront here are just starting to re-sprout with new leaves.
Right, hello, my name's Jenny Doverston, and I'm part of the family that has the Marysville Trout Farm, and we have quite a job ahead of us, trying to get the farm established again after the fire, the big fire, which came across the top of the mountain over there and just engulfed our house right up the top of the hill it was. And then we had accommodation up there for backpackers and farm stay, and that all got burnt, and my son's house and my daughter's house, and we got down very quickly off the hill up there down into the pond, which is behind the big cafe that we're building up there, and the trusses of that building had gone up on the Thursday before the fire, and it was like flames were flying everywhere, and I just prayed and prayed that those trusses wouldn't be burned, and they didn't get burned, and so we've been able to continue on our special project to have a cafe and maybe even a restaurant one day. And we got out of the water after the fireball had gone across, and we tried to save our son's house, but that was no avail. And we then tried to save the building up the very top, but that went most of it got burned. And that was about, by this stage, it was probably about 10 or 11 o'clock at night by the time we got moving out of the water. And what happened then? We kept on trying to keep the fire at bay, but it was fairly hard. A lot of flames. And since then we've been able to think, well, we're going to move on, and we've been fairly busy with getting the building up the top there, which is going to be a very special gathering place for people to come. And hopefully by maybe early next year we'll have that cafe, restaurant, kiosk, I'm not sure, ready for people to come. And we're now continuing on with the trout farm. Our son was managing this part, but he's gone to Western Australia as a mining engineer, so there just wasn't enough to keep him.
Okay, these are salvage fishing rods. There's more tops and bottoms, so the broken tops I'm cutting off so that they can telescopically fit into the bottoms that have got handles, so that they can make the most of the salvage. It's good fun, very satisfying.
deep and stormy, let me bathe in healing streams.
here, this is a houseboat which some of the farm workers here on the trout farm are living in. They're having to live in this houseboat as a temporary measure because 19 of the buildings here were burnt down during the fires. So it must be pretty cold in the winter months living in there. And this here, as you can see, is one of the houses that was destroyed in the fire. The roof has just been completely burnt off and all that's left is a shell.